Anybody for the 12 o'clock tour? Follow me and we'll get started.
Now, the County of Wexford is not just about strawberries and new potatoes. They've a lot more besides. The town of New Ross here, for instance, was founded by the Normans on the banks of the River Barrow. And there, these days, you will find the famine ship, the Dunbrody, a replica sailing vessel which brought thousands of Irish people across the Atlantic to a new life in America. And the chief executive of the Dunbrody is Sean Reedy. Sean, what's the story that the Dunbrody tells?
Dunbrody tells the story of a ship that was commissioned by William Graves of New Ross in 1845, which he originally intended as a cargo vessel. And it came back to Ireland in 1845 and immediately famine struck. So the ship was immediately pressed into the service of bringing lots of people from New Ross to ports like Quebec and Boston, New York and Savannah, fleeing the famine.
On board the replica, you bring that story alive with actors and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've fitted out the passenger deck precisely as it was in the 1840s. And when people go below, they'll see the cramped conditions and the bunks as they were laid out for the passengers in those days. And then they'll encounter actors telling the stories, their own stories.
Yesterday I saw a burial at sea. I felt so sorry for that poor woman.
And it's not just for adults. I've seen lots of children going through here.
Yeah, we've had an awful lot of school kids, and we actually encourage families to come. We have a special actor who's a cabin boy who relates particularly with kids. He's from the past but in the present. And we have kids packs, and they sign on as crew to put their thumbprint on the document, and they're made feel part of the whole experience.
You do actually go to sea by times.
We did, yes. I sailed at the tall ships in 2005, and we also did an international voyage to Milford Haven in 2006.
When she takes to sea, she's quite a sight.
That's magnificent, yes. And I mean, when she took off from Milford Haven, we had a very good westerly breeze, and the captain didn't even put on the engines, and she sailed right across on wind.
Of course, it is in every sense a real ship, actually built in New Ross.
Yeah.
And does really go to sea when
I think on. Yes, and the fact that she's proved herself as a real sailing ship, I think is good. And in fact, also, we had that unique photograph of the three Irish tall ships, the Ascar, the Jeanie Johnson, and the Dunbrody, heading out past Duncannon at the head of the tall ships of the world. That was a very special moment, and I was very fortunate to be on board that morning.
So is this living history in every sense?
Every sense of the word.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on board the Galley Cruising Restaurant in St. Ciaran. You're all very welcome. We're heading upriver today.
Different when you're feeling a bit peckish. It's only a short walk from the Dunbrody up the quays in New Ross to this wonderful and venerable institution. It's the Galley Floating Restaurant on a barge on the rivers available hereabouts. And the boss, so to speak, is Mark Minahan. Mark, this is the way to have a relaxed bottle of wine and a bit of lunch.
Well, I suppose it's mainly hard work for me, but somebody has to do it, When you get a day like this, it's fantastic, yeah. It's very good.
We're on the Barrow.
We're on the Barrow, yeah. We'll meet about a kilometre or so up stream here. We'll meet the Nore, but we'll be continuing on the Barrow today for our lunch. The route is decided by the tides. It's a tidal part of the river, so our route is decided by the tides.
Because you've got three rivers available to you, the Three Sisters.
We have the Three Sisters. We have the Barrow, where our base at New Ross is on the Barrow, and we generally go upriver, which would be up the Barrow or up the Nore. But on lower tides, then we go downstream in towards the estuary, which would bring us down as far as the shore.
And on board you have your restaurant, of course, you have your bar, usual facilities.
Restaurant. We cook everything on board. We prepare everything back at the base and bring it on prepared, and then it's cooked on board.
And Mark, you can bring the kids on board as well. You needn't have a full lunch or dinner or whatever.
No, it's obviously very flexible. I mean, we're a family-run organisation, so obviously we want to, first of all, we want to pay our way, but certainly we were delighted for people to see the river. The opportunities of seeing the rivers are very limited, and we're delighted when people come along. In fact, the amount of repeat business that we have is very encouraging. People come back and back again,
Well, it's a gorgeous way to spend a day. And it's not just about the scenery, the view. It's about the food and the wine.
Food and the wine. And the company.
And the good life.
Yes, I suppose.
Behind us here is the Hook Lighthouse at the end of the Hook Peninsula in the county of Wexford, named in the Lonely Planet Guide to Ireland as one of the country's top attractions. It's claimed by some to be the oldest lighthouse anywhere in the world, and the man who certainly knows the ins and outs of the history of it is Billy Colfer, author of the book, The Hook Peninsula. Billy, what's the story of the lighthouse?
Well, to go back a little bit, Michael, there's been a tradition of a light here at the end of this rocky peninsula for well over 1,000 years, because according to very strong local belief, the monks from a small monastery just down the road maintained a warning beacon during their time in the monastery when the sea was rough and so on.
So when you come as a member of the public to look around here, what do you get to see? Can you go up into the light?
Not into the light itself. That is still a working lighthouse run by the Commissioners of Irish Lights. Hook Heritage Limited, which is the board that is operating this visitor centre, are licensed to bring tours up as far as the first balcony in the lighthouse.
So you get a sense of being in a lighthouse, the winding stairs.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's quite the architecture is quite remarkable. It's a massive medieval structure with walls about 4 metres thick, and the stairs ascends then in the thickness of the walls. And it consists of 3 chambers with very rugged stone vaulting in the roofs, in the ceilings, because of the danger of fire. Obviously, the whole building had to be constructed of stone.
Did the visitors find you, as you say, you are at the end of a peninsula?
The lighthouse itself is quite visible from a distance, especially at night, but it is a bit out of the way, which I suppose is a tribute to the attraction of the location, because we get between 50 and 60,000 people here each year. Used to be confined very much to the July and August in the summertime, but now it's spread over the year much more.
And having visited here, people can boast, I've been in the oldest working lighthouse in the world.
We like to think so, yes, indeed.
Just some of the attractions you could enjoy should you be making a visit to Kilkenny or Wexford during the summer. That ends the programme for this evening. Do join us again on Sunday next. Until then, from the Hook Peninsula, with the oldest lighthouse in the world, and from all of us in the Nationwide team, a very good evening. And on next Sunday's programme, we're in Castlecomer in